जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad 50 Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
KL Rahul put the Delhi boys to bat, and they sure have delivered. It seems to have been a keeper's day out. Tristan Stubbs, Abishek Porel getting 50s, and Rishabh Pant putting in a nice score as well. Delhi have reached 208 in their 20 overs. Abishek Porel 58, Tristan Stubbs 57. Now we're back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami, and I have Lisa and Pommie with me. I'm just very excited.
Why are you smiling like a Cheshire cat?
It was too close.
You can't, you're sort of even fumbling your words.
Yeah, because
You're
it was so close. I was
excited.
so nervous. I've missed a bullseye by one, but I take this win with all humility. Oh, please. Guys, I hope you guys have captured everything, right?
Take this win.
You've been recording, and you should actually put the clip out of this little pork chop there going, bye, Lisa, you're gone. All right, guys. Let's get back to the game. I know I'm a winner. I know I'm the winner, but let's get back to what's happened.
Are you okay?
I'm all right. I can feel my heart rate jumping up with excitement, getting that one win in after many days, but also the excitement of seeing what Tristan Stubbs done. I saw a placard saying trust in Stubbs, and he's sure delivers. You were talking about how he goes about things. He starts a little slow and then just goes into sixth gear.
I don't know that today that's worked out, actually. And it's not because of the score you decided and the score I decided. Just looking at the way they started and kind of the way the pitch seemed to play, they kind of got stuck somewhere in the middle. Like as you watched, I mean, look, 11 to 15 scoring at just 6 and over. Even that 8.25 from 7 to 10, it's not good enough having gone at 12s. And lost just the one wicket and just the one wicket in that phase as well. So this is not to try and take away from the LSG bowling. I think they did fabulously. Two bowlers, particularly in Bishnoi and Mohsin, very good. Like at critical times, they bowled overs that didn't go for many runs. And you sort of sat there and thought, I wonder why they've just not quite been able. Yes, they've hit their lengths, but many have been hit off their lengths. And these are batters who are not quite able to get it away. So, yeah, I think they'll rue that particular part of the game, the middle part of the game, they didn't sufficiently kind of get the ball away to the fence.
Lisa, we'll just have a look at that batting card because like Pommie is saying, at some point they got stuck. I don't know if it's Rishabh Pant because he was not seeming to time the ball too well today, 33 of 23. Tristan Stubbs was the other end, but I don't think he was getting too much of the strike. So that 11 to 15th over, 30 runs is not something we've seen very often.
I kind of put it down to, and I mean, even just losing Jake Fraser-McGurk at the top, he's been a guy that has predominantly batted out of the power play and still gone at the same rate. So they didn't have his services for that period. But when we look at Rishabh Pant's innings, he couldn't hold on to the bat. He was swinging the bat out of his hands and wasn't stable enough. When he's hitting the ball well sure, he's getting into different positions, which I like and I think is successful for him, but he's still at point of impact. But he just seems to be moving and what we call it, he's not as fluid as he normally is. So something was missing there for him in his innings. And maybe he was trying to overhit too much and Tristan Stubbs had just come in. So they were just trying to find their way and in the end probably took a little bit too long to kind of flick the switch.
But the other left-hand keeper was exceptional today. We spoke about it in the comm box as well. Jake Fraser-McGurk losing him early, and then we saw what Shai Hope and Porel did. But Porel, that drive through the covers, it was just beautiful for me.
Yeah, played really well. As you say, he's talented, so that strike rate is probably about right. And I wonder, sort of looking at that, thinking back through the innings and thinking how things went, whether it was a case of new ball, slightly older ball, and the reaction of the surface. Remember also that, this is the same pitch where heaps of runs have been scored on there, but we're at the back end of the season. So what are we probably match 4 on that same strip? And even though before it's kind of, and everyone smashed it to all parts and they've got 240 and 250 and whatever it is, it might be difficult to replicate exactly the same conditions. So it might just hold a little bit later on with the ball a bit older. So I'm wondering in my head, like you see Porel play so well, you see Shai Hope play well, and you think new ball and you think slightly older, what happens? Is 200 therefore what we think is par? Should we sort of come down? I don't think so, but maybe, maybe that's kind of how the surface has played. That's why the difficulty of hitting the ball at the ground. Never judge, I guess, until both have had a go. And if there's any dew at all, then all of that stickiness or whatever goes out the window, doesn't it?
But Lisa, Abishek Porel played like what, Jake Fraser McGurk's been doing. He was 43 of 16 in the power play. So he's taken on that role when he got out early today. Yeah,
it's good to see that without his buddy down the other end, he was still able to play that free game. You feel like he's kind of grown up in this IPL, like the 20s and 30s, and then finally got to a half century. And so he's slowly starting to build his own innings whilst keeping the way or the style that he's batting. So his next development would be to turn those 50s into 70s, 80s, a bigger score, and hopefully, 100 as well. So that's still for him to kind of achieve, but he's certainly showing that he's learnt a lot in this edition of the IPL.
Pommie, we saw some real clean hitting from him. They were just timing the ball so beautifully today. Yeah,
hitting off a length. I think hitting on the up, hitting off a length, shows us that a surface is pretty good when batters can trust that they can look to try and force the ball away off what bowlers think is a good length. Then conditions are in favour of the batters. As I say though, it's a question in my head and it'll keep coming up as I sort of keep trying to say, oh yeah, good pitch and they could do this, they could. I keep going, well, I wonder if it's a new ball scenario, and therefore if you're in a chase, you got to make sure you use those first 6 and hit the ball really well and ensure that whilst it's still coming on quite nicely, you're taking enough risks, because if you don't and then you try and take the risks later on, it's going to be more difficult with the ball just stopping a little bit more if it's a little bit older. But like I say, not entirely sure. Few kilometers away from the surface right here, but just kind of gleaning from what we're seeing and how we're seeing the guys play. The question you always ask though is, are you doing enough, right? And in this tournament, enough has had batters go towards the aggressive option, where maybe in times past, maybe before this IPL, enough has been, do just enough and don't try to do too much. Because you can maybe, and I don't like to use the phrase catch up, but you can kind of change gears and change up as you go along, and it will be enough by the end. This season has been rather start the other way around. So if it looks decent, if it kind of seems like it's coming on, play the shots, not 1, 6, 2 and 3 and 4 if you can, right? And then if it doesn't quite work and you kind of have to throttle back, then you throttle back because the conditions aren't allowing for what you're trying to do from an aggression perspective, and you have to figure out how you can still be aggressive but with a bit more caution than you kind of had thought in the beginning. So, I don't know if they did enough in that middle period.
But Shai Hope and Abishek Porel sure did that. They kind of, in spite of losing Jake Fraser McGurk, went for it. They were 106, I think, at the 10-over point. So that partnership was a crucial one for them.
Yeah, especially when you lose the enforcer that has won you so many games. I mean, I was impressed with Shai Hope and his timing and being really still and being able to hit through the line. It's quite interesting. You've got different players in different teams, how they go about it. But, those two managed to kind of really ensure that they put together that partnership, had the foundations to go really big. It just didn't necessarily happen, and maybe they got out at the wrong time. But yeah, that middle phase was the only thing that Delhi will look back at, regardless of the result. They'll look back at and go, we just missed we missed a beat just there. But there were still some great signs for them.
But well, they thankfully finish it off well because of what Tristan Stubbs did. He is our green cap leader. Of course, our green cap between 16 to 20, the highest strike rate, 262. Wow. Again, he showed us today, Pommie, who said, you know, it took him some time, but when he started hitting those shots, he hit one almost out of the stadium.
Yeah, he generally does sort of take some time. And he's been in good form all the way through the season. Even when they were going really badly, he'd be the sort of one shining light. And sometimes it'd be like a 28 off 15 or 28 off 20 balls, and where his team hasn't gone well at all, but he's looked good and he's watched wickets fall at the other end. He's done well to impact the game in the final phase of the game. I wonder, though, today, when he sort of looks back, and it might well be a nice look back, you know, nice to have look back, where if you're looking back and you've won the game, it's okay.
Yes.
But if you're looking back and you've lost the game, and he looks and says, okay, 8, 10, 12 balls, where am I? And is that where the game, you know, because at the other end, the same sort of thing is happening. We're trying to get ourselves going again as a team. And can I get going that bit quicker? Does it demand of me the conditions that I get going quicker? Because if I do, then instead of 208, maybe we get something like 242, you know.
Well, it wasn't meant to be because of the way the Lucknow bowlers pulled it back, Pommie.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
You like that.
That was good. All right, where is he going? That's where
He's going to 242. That's where he's been wanting to go. But the Lucknow bowlers did pull it back and they got it to 208. That's what they did.
I said before, I thought it was impressive. Started off and you understood in the power play, and there were so many changes. I like this from KL Rahul, that he rung the changes. In the first 10 overs, they'd used 7 bowlers already. So it was very much a case of let's try this, let's go there, let's do this. Let's not allow these guys to get accustomed to any of the bowlers particularly, and let's then work from there. And you really have to kind of break it down into the various phases in the game, and you want to get out of the power play first. Once you're out of there, then you can start to, you know, work again as, okay, that's done. Are we okay? Are we not? We got a couple of wickets. That's good. Now, how can we go in the middle here? We've got to try and win this middle bit. And then sort of next 4, next 5, whatever it is, and then to look to try and finish off at the back end again. Yeah, so I thought the changes were good. As I say, I thought Bishnoi and Mohsin were the two most impressive bowlers, because to kind of bowl overs of 5 and 6 here and there. There was a period, I think, that went 3 overs for like 15, and you're going, wow, how have they done that? You know, like, even if they're new batters, how have you done that? You know, and no boundaries in that time. Excellent work.
Lisa, we spoke about Bishnoi in the pre-match show. Clearly, he heard us and he said, 1 second, let me show you all how it's done. And he's been exceptional today.
Yeah, he's a bowler that has so much energy, doesn't he? Whenever he comes on, he wants the ball in his hands. He wants to be the one that changes the game. And for whatever reasons, today was his day, in the sense that he was able to execute what he was probably planning. The only thing that I will criticise him on is catching, because
Yes,
if he had taken those catches, we may have seen a score of 197. We're having a lot of fun today.
Man.
Anyway, but I think his performance with the ball was excellent. And you'll start to see at the back end of the tournament that spinners are almost expected to start to dominate. There can be allowances given at the start because fresh pitches, and obviously this edition of this tournament has been big from a batting point of view, and all bowlers have gone the journey. But now we're getting to older, tireder, been baking in the sun a lot more. We're seeing temperatures soaring around the country, so the pitches are going to be affected. So this is where spinners stand up.
But today's game, Lucknow has to win and has to win with a big margin. So how do you all see them approaching the power play?
Yeah, critical. Critical that they go at it. They kind of almost have to do what was done to them in the power play. So,
Are you giving us a score there, Pommie?
no inhibitions. I can give you a score. I'm going for 78.
Ooh, Lisa, what about you? 78.
73.
Oh, gee.
Wow, she's really kept it tight.
Standing on my toes there.
5, I've given you your 5.
Oh,
that's all you can
gee,
have.
Stand on my toes.
Whew. Well, Abishek Porel's out. Ishan is in, as the impact.
Oh, right.
No one's gotten out, guys.
Sorry,
I'll give that to you
I was going to say,
all.
was he batting again?
No, I'll give that to you all. I have no place to go because you all have both taken the 70s. 72, 78. Correct?
73?
You said 73?
73, 78. So I'll have to go at 58.
Okay.
Yeah. No, so 68. I don't know why I'm getting it wrong today, guys. I'm just getting my...
Okay,
I don't
so
know
which
why,
one
it's
is
the
this?
pressure.
Is it 109 you wanted?
It's 60. 168. I can correct it. It just, I don't know, it's the pressure of wanting to win twice. 68. We'll wait and watch and give you all the updates because Lucknow really want this win. So we'll be giving you all the updates at the 10 over point of the Cricbuzz Combox. We'll catch you all there very soon.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
হায়দ্রাবাদ 50 এক্সপ্রেস পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दें